Goldman Banks.
Oh, hello. Good evening, YouTube. It's Goldman Banks. And if you're like me, and you just built a gaming PC, the next thing you're probably thinking about besides the actual games you're going to play is the tools you're going to use to play these games. Right now, I just have basic office tools, a regular keyboard, nothing special, and a ordinary mouse. Let's kick that up a notch. So, as you can see, these are the multifaceted sides of the mouse box. So, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. So, right off the bat, you can see there is quite a bit of flash on the box, mostly around the edges. Corsair really likes their yellow. Alright, so let's just go ahead and empty the contents of the box. So as you can see here, we get our actual mouse, the braided USB-C to USB connector for charging and playing tethered, our warranty guide, some quick start instructions, and a safety and compliance information guide. So we're just going to put these away for a later reading. Let's actually look at the mouse. Alright, so we have a nice plastic shielding for our mouse. Our additional rest for the pinky. And we have our dongle here. Alright, so let's just take a look at the mouse. So right off the bat, it feels very comfortable just to rest my hand.
Live stream, video, recording, whatever. It's just finished with AMD's Lisa Su, and we got all the information that you guys have been looking for. So you're probably going to see a ton of videos on this. Make sure you guys check out.
And as I know most of you enjoy this as much as I do, let's find a good spot
we got a lot to talk about today because it looks like AMD is finally brought the fight back to NVIDIA. And who's the winner in all of this?
So just taking a look at it right now, it seems really light in my hand.
The new P360A joins
and I really like this bumped textured feel right here. Kind of gives me grip.
The P360A is the perfect size
nice
for water
texture.
cooling and air cooling.
Non-slip type feel.
And multiple 240 or 280 radiators.
But I mean, seeing is only believing. Let's turn it on, get it paired up, and see how it performs.
At 20 watts less TDP.
So now that we've gotten this unboxed,
now, if you look at the
let's go ahead and move this out of the way because we are not going to be using him anymore.
We're seeing it trade blows and beat it in pretty much every title. Certain titles it's beating it, certain titles it's not. But it's
now I'm just going to insert my dongle.
There's one other thing to talk about though in terms of performance, and I was looking at the charts carefully to try and make sure there wasn't like stars and asterisks on this. There's a new mode called Rage Mode. Yep.
And we're simply going to flick on our mouse.
No, there's the gimmicky name we're looking for. Rage Mode, or whoever, who cares what it's called. Rage Mode is a one-button overclock. where it basically will just
Oh, and look at
squeeze
that
out every
bad
bit of
boy
performance that
shine.
it can through artificial, and I don't want to say artificial intelligence. It will automatically find its max boost clocks and max memory clocks and all of that, but it can also leverage 5000 series processors from Zen 3 to give it a performance boost as well,
I
because
guess
it
we
uses what's called a
should have
smart
read the
access
instructions.
memory, which is where it will
See
directly
if that
use
helps.
the system memory as well to give you more boost.
Alright,
So I'm
so
not
we
sure
got some
exactly how that works
feedback
yet.
already.
Actually, we don't get any of that information yet. So I'm kind of curious how it's able to access system memory, which is notoriously slow versus any sort of
Alright,
VRAM,
that's
to give you performance
pretty
uplift. Now it looks
pretty
like on the
responsive.
6800T or XT benchmarks that it was not using rage mode, because I feel like that would have
Okay,
been
I like
worth
that.
mentioning. If it was trading blows and beating the 3080 with
Let's
rage
see
mode
what we
on,
got
then
here.
that definitely deserves a big, fat, bold, italicized asterisk, because that's only going to be for those running Zen 3 architecture CPUs to get that sort of performance uplift. But then they showed a chart.
Alright, so as you can see, this mouse is accessible via the IQ software, and you can see we have quite a few options we can mess with here. Our lighting effects, we can give this mouse a little bit of
Do
flavor.
I need to use an NVIDIA graphics card with Intel, and should I use an AMD graphics card with an AMD CPU? The answer was always
Alright,
no.
let's
That
see
didn't
what
really
we
hold
can do
true
here.
unless you were looking for max FPS because of
Hardware
clocks
lighting.
being the thing that holds you back.
Let's add
It's not
something
really the
here.
case anymore, because now you can get a direct, tangible improvement to your AMD graphics card when paired with an AMD CPU, which makes sense though. If you're the designer of the architecture of both, you find a way to leverage those two, why not? And then it becomes actually beneficial to pair your boys by AMD no matter what. Unless you're
So let's
progressive
go
in the middle,
ahead
like most of
and
us, I
give the
think.
mouse a little bit of
If
light.
you're shopping right now, you've got to
So
consider this
right
one.
here we can just
And
give
that's
it
not even
the
some of
basic
AI models yet,
rainbow,
which are going to probably have higher boost clocks,
which is
better cooling
cool.
solutions, and probably give you even more
But
functionality.
as you can see, I kind of already have a theme that I'm working with, orange and green. I'm supporting my boy Bakugo here, explosive. So I'm just going to go ahead and set something up that kind of falls in line with what I already have.
One eternity later.
To sum up what I've gone over so far with the video about this mouse is, I personally definitely recommend it, not because everything here is mostly Corsair, but because I really enjoy the way this mouse feels. I don't have a lot to compare this to, but right off the bat, it feels way better than any mouse I've ever used in any position where I've had to use a mouse. So, retail, this is about 80 to 90 bucks. Some of the features that I didn't quite go over with the mouse was that this also supports wireless charging. So if you want to invest in getting a wireless charging game mat, that would actually benefit you and keep you from having to keep this tethered and charged so often. Another thing that I kind of missed out on with this mouse was the DPI. The box boasts that this has 18,000 DPI. From the research that I've been doing, I don't think that's going to be anything that I'm going to be supremely interested in. Mostly because DPI relates to dots per inch. So let's say I have something set to 1,000 DPI. For me moving my mouse 1 inch in the real world, it's going to move some additional spaces outside of what I'm going to do. So if I have this set too high, my mouse is going to be moving way too far. I don't really need that. I'm trying to get some precise shots, maybe some good swings. I'm not even sure what I'm going to play with this thing yet, but I'm ready to swing the hammer.
This is a disadvantage.
That's all I have to say about this mouse. You guys have a good night, and
no, I know I've talked more than you guys already want.
hit that like and subscribe.
Goldman Banks.